Hey everyone. So I'm gonna go over two different playtest videos by Fonze? Fonz? Oh god, I'm never gonna know. I think it's pretty sure it's Fonzie. Anyway, there's two playtests. One of the playtests is a complete run through, but he analyzed the entire level, and I'm gonna sort of skim through that one because it does have some nice tidbits. However, um, it's not really conducive to what I would consider what I would actually genuinely consider being a proper playtest because he was it's almost like watching me play through the level at the point that he managed to do this. So like kind of starts off, he already knew where everything was. He'd look through the WAD file. Yeah, he already knew where all the guys were. Like, yeah, he. So basically, with this one, it's way harder for me to kind of glean the important stuff because what I want to do is be able to see like what's wrong with the level. And when somebody analyzes it and they know it perfectly, they can perfect the level. It's almost like just watching myself play through it. You just don't gain as much information from it. So I'm gonna kind of skip through it, and then we'll get to the other playtest, which is far more useful on many fronts. So skip around. Yeah, he knew where everything was. You know, I almost. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if there actually was anything in this, but like, he even goes through the secret at the end. Like, he perfects the level, and he even knew like to keep the armors and stuff like that. He saved the Megasphere, like he didn't grab the Megasphere, the Soul Sphere, and the blue armor that were in the level until he was ready to do the secret level. So he was like fully prepared for every last square inch. Anyway, with that said, I'm gonna start up the first playtest, and this is the one that I found to have the most useful information. All right. So this is really nice. He's like, I could really tell when he's playing this, he sort of does some sort of micro expressions to kind of indicate that maybe he's rusty with Brutal Doom, or that he's just hasn't maybe he hasn't played Doom in a while or something. But there's definitely a sense of like I'm rusty at this. So already the explosion happens pretty much every time. I like that there's a nice explosion at the start of the level. Um, he does a little no. You see that no? Yeah, it's definitely sort of a rustiness. So one of the first things I noticed while watching this, and it comes up in a second, and it wasn't something that I was really prepared to deal with, but there's some problems with the decals. It's a very nuanced like little problem. You see this blood splat that's in here? Whenever there's dead bodies, Brutal Doom tends to put blood decals. Now this is interesting because the blood decals would pretty much clue him in on the secret. He's like, what's this? What the hell? Boom, got the secret, and there's like all this blood sitting all over the walls and stuff like that. That's that's funny to me. Now, one of the worst things that could happen is for one of these blood splats to appear on top of a switch. Sometimes that happens, like, and then the player can't even see the switch. Alright, so he manages to get that fairly early on. Gets the armor. And in that case, I was kind of hoping that the sound of the door have clued him in a little bit more on what would be going on. But I guess when he came out of that room, he was kind of waiting for other stuff to appear. Those headshots. I often forget that the shotgun doesn't have any fall off. For some reason, like in most games that I play, if you have a shotgun, you can't make long range shots like that. But I guess it's more realistic. Once again, you know that imp up there. Those imps up there kind of distract a little bit. He was a little surprised that there was a plasma rifle just sitting up there. Now he's like, what else did I miss? Because this is a plasma rifle here? Must be something else going on here. Maybe these things? Just spam use on them anyway. I guess there's nothing I can do about it. It's just gonna happen. That area up there is just, I guess, is just doomed to have weird reactions no matter what I do about it. How the fuck did he figure this out? Dude, how did you figure this out? Is everybody gonna figure this out? Like, holy shit. Did you figure this out on your own? Like, I never would have figured that out. Yeah, I'm aware of the script error. I've already fixed it. There is actually a point in time where the BZ Plasma Easter egg does not appear. It's not that he would have seen it anyway, because you only have 4 seconds to do it, but... I'm not a fan of a couple of things going on here. Those black walls and... See that? See how you can see the Revenant down there? I don't like that. I'm gonna have to fix that. Alright, I'm just gonna have to take... I'm taking notes on this stuff, like, I'm gonna compile a list and go through everything, but I don't like how black this wall appears, and I don't like that Revenant there. You're not supposed to see him. He's supposed to show up later on. Like... This time the imps worked perfectly! Yay! Oh! 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 That Hell Knight? The Hell Knight was ignored. Now he's like, what happened? Did I hear a Hell Knight? So... Alright, I wonder about... it's fine. Music transitions. Welcome to the next level. You know, I really forget about the grenades so fucking much. I forget about it like constantly. I never even think about it. I don't even know how you get more of them. Like, so let's see, what do we got here? He sees the health spawn like right away. You see the health the bonus health right away, but ignores it because there's enemies already coming. In a way, I kind of would prefer, like, I don't know, fighting the enemies and then seeing it, but it's fine. One thing that is pretty comical about this is that the pain elemental, I've never seen this happen before, the pain elemental is just chilling. Like, he didn't do anything to him the entire point. Like, he was underneath the pain elemental, and the pain elemental simply did not exist. was not a part of our reality. Alright. It's interesting he remembers it. He's like, alright, yeah, look at that. There it is. He grab it. He got it. And then now he's kind of just looking around. He's like, okay, this leads up. There's a switch there. Part of me actually feels like maybe the switch should be a little bit more obscure. Maybe it's fine. BZ Plasma he didn't even discover this section. Like, he probably would have discovered it his first playtest though. He stopped paying attention to things that didn't work out the first time he played through. And that actually happens. The more people playtest your stuff, the more polluted they become with the way the level used to be in the past, and like, people just kind of go through the motions after a while once they've played something once. So you can make changes, and I don't know. The first time people play through something, they usually play a lot more cautiously. Yeah, that shouldn't have closed. That's a bug. I'll just make it so that it stays permanently open once you flip the switch. That imp. So he casually figured out the BFG secret. I mean, this is pretty interesting. Lots of Keiko demons have spawned, and they usually end up coming up behind him. I'm not sure I'm a fan of the fact that he's going to get bit in the ass any second now, and he doesn't know it's coming. Yeah. Ugh. It's just not how I wanted the fight to go. I kind of wanted him to be like up on the pillar shooting at stuff as it's coming up for him, but really it just turns into, here's a Keiko demon in your ass. Good luck. Yeah, look at this Baron. Huh? He's just baroning around. Not doing very much. It's the Baron trapped in a tiny room. He's looking down. I wonder if this is because I wonder if that's because he doesn't remember being down there, or if maybe there was something he jumped down on top of. This door looks weird. This section right here needs to be reworked a little bit. I'm gonna do a couple of different things. For starters, I don't want you to jump down like this anymore. I actually want you to just walk across. So I'm gonna have to do something else. And I'm not a fan of this fight right here. Like, what the fuck is this? Hey, look at this awesome encounter, guys. I'm fighting a couple of paper thin sheets down in, a million feet below me. This is what made Doom good. Oh, so this entire section is all connected, so you can jump down to the Soul Sphere if you felt like it, which kind of breaks that. Like, I want these to be separate secrets. I don't want this to be like, also you have a Soul Sphere now. That's currently how it is. So yeah, I'm gonna have to rethink things a bit. He does that. He's like, yeah, I got it. That actually makes me happy. You know what doesn't make me happy? That pillar. That pillar is annoying as shit, and everybody who's down there bumps into it, including myself. Yeah. Alright. Anyway. Why? Why wouldn't you grab it? Why won't you do predictable things? People. And this is another case. He grabs the key long before he even noticed that there was a door there. It's like, oh, I got a key. I guess I needed it for something. Like, I'm literally gonna have to move the door closer, so that it's almost impossible that you don't see the door before you have to get the key. Like, why ever, and under any circumstances, would you ever just give the player a key before they ever even have a chance to see the door? Of course, now he's in full scavenge mode. Full scavenge mode. Oh. Every square inch. Yeah. See, because of the fact that he found the BFG secret first, this sequence makes no sense. sense. None of this makes any sense anymore. Like, why did this happen? It must be so confusing. Oh, I'm so fucking... Like, I just, like, what the fuck? Hey guys, I got a switch I can flip that can make monsters appear for no reason. Of course, he notices this. He notices that it came down. Alright, look at that. He's like, oh, I'm back here again. Alright, that made no sense at all. 0 sense. He has no idea what he's about to run into. Yeah, so in this sequence, everybody seems to be flipping all of the switches at the same time, which I'm not against that. I think that's fine. It's it threads correctly. I mean, it does it, but at the same time, it's how do I say it causes confusing stuff. I don't know. It's not that I want this sequence to last a million years, but it's just it's like so cautious. He's so cautious. I kind of get the feeling he's kind of like nervous. Like he's not gonna flip the switches yet. He's just waiting for something to happen first. So he flips the first one on imp spawns, and he's like, okay. Also, the earthquake effect is just not happening. I guess maybe nobody's using the latest version of GZ Doom, maybe? No fucking around, man. Balls to the wall before the shit actually even happens. Angry. Why is he so mad? So he realizes this and he's just like, alright, here's a switch I didn't flip yet. I'm about 80% sure that I'm gonna probably restructure this so that it's a sequence of switches again. Because just allowing players to flip them like that is it kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I think it's fine overall because the final one of the switches requires you to go all the way up top. Huh. Is this like... What the hell? Is the like sound like off or something? Huh. The sound is off on the video. How did this happen? Oh, that's like it. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Huh. When I recorded it, this didn't happen. There's like a delay on the sound. Okay, let's see if this fixed it. Huh. Oh! I guess it's just part of the original video now. Ugh, makes it a lot harder to watch. Ah, it's almost bad enough where I like almost want to turn the sound off altogether. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna have to do that because Jesus, what the fuck? Like, why is this sound so backwards? I like this part right here because he sees this, he goes, he kicks that, he's like, alright, salvation. Oh. And one of the things of feedback that um, Fonzie mentions is that these barons are kind of just like ammo sponges. In which case, he's pretty much dead on. Like, yeah, I totally agree. Like, so strange that the sound got messed up like that. Maybe it fixes itself after a while or something. Nope. Anyway, so he's got the plasma. He's doing some work. He's getting all the enemies. He's in the safe spot over here. I'm not gonna fuck with the safe spot. Like, I think it's fine. One of the things that Fonzie mentions is that like in one of the playtests, he says he saw that the Mancubus didn't spawn because if you stand exactly where the Mancubus spawns, then he simply won't come into existence. But I don't dislike that. Like if somebody knows to do that, then they've expended enough effort to deserve to prevent the okay. Whoa, 1 second right there. That they've expended enough energy to deserve to not have a spawning Mancubus. All right, so this part right here, he looks out. He looks out here. He goes to fire a rocket. Um, it's in my notes. These things are gonna go all the way down because if this was all the way down, it gives you a little bit better of a firing range towards these enemies here. That's definitely just a shitty sightline in general. Especially like if you're like, oh, I'm gonna fire a rocket and you fire it at your fucking feet and it does a whole bunch of damage to you. That right there was like literally the level designer being a total jackass and making sure that a rocket like would explode in your face. Like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Also, people who play Doom shoot at feet. Like, have you not played any Quake at all? I noticed with BZ and Fonzie, guys don't know how to shoot feet. Yeah. Uh, this is also going to be lowered all the way down. And again, here comes another trickle of barons. Not particularly an interesting aspect, but they're not terrible either. It's just a ammo sponges basically. I mean, there's really not that much that I can do to fix that. Maybe there is. I'll have to think of something. Okay, so he's like already thinking about going back, but the doors, thankfully, thankfully, I opened the path back up fairly quickly after he was done with it. He already knew everything was over, so now he's in full on scavenge mode, and I imagine he's trying to think about reaching the soul sphere, but he can't remember how. Yeah. Or either that or is just sort of like he's just looking for stuff. Yeah, he goes all the way through. God, I gotta get rid of the lava on that area. He sees the red door. Now, one thing I like about this playtest is that he sees the red key. Like, he actually does see it. Whereas BZ is usually too caught up in like talking to people and focusing on like being a streamer, it's difficult for him to sort of notice those kinds of things. But Fonzie spots the key and is definitely in full on find secrets and uh, get items mode. So he looks at the window there. Um, he saw it and he's like, maybe I have to go up here. What is he? What are you doing? So like he saw that there were items there, and and one of the things in the I forgot to put in the videos where I was doing adjustments to the level to make sure that the player would actually kind of remember is to put a little lip in front of the window so that when you step up on it, it kind of looks like, oh man, I could definitely jump up this. Like, why would he put a step there? Sort of nudging the player and making the correct decision. He knew to fall back right away when this happens, but he's not really ready for the second follow-up, which is the spawning of the imps and the archvile. The sequence actually works out fairly well, I think, because it keeps him on his toes, and he's having to kind of like figure out dealing with that archvile and the imps. And there's plenty of cover. There's like, yeah, it's a little bit of a poke fight, maybe rockets. He's having to kind of think about it. I like this. I'm not sure if he's enjoying it, but I'm liking that he's challenged right now, or that he's at least trying to like figure it out and get this archvile, who's kind of a fucking ammo sponge because he can't get a good line of sight on him. So he manages to get through all that. Now, he noticed the items that were sitting up on that ledge, but it just didn't click. Okay. Whoa, slow down right there. What do we got? Okay. See this right here? The secret. New secret. Gonna go right here. It's in my notes. My mental notes at the moment. I will be compiling full actual lists, going over this, but yeah. Like that's a really good spot to put something. I'm not sure what, but I'm gonna put something there. Huh. So I guess he just didn't take the bait at all to jump up and find the secrets, the blue armor and the pickups that were sitting in the window. And I wonder if it's because everybody's so used to not being able to jump. It's the same thing that happened with BZ Plasma. When you go through his playtest as well, it's going to be the same thing. He's kind of doing all this. He's pretty cautious. That's where these imps are. Now he does this sequence kind of how I imagine it, but I definitely have to rework. I definitely have to rework some stuff when it comes to this area here because too many people have actually skipped the entire room that I intended players to jump down, and this exacerbates it a lot because people will just run to that edge, see that there are in fact two blue doors, and they just picked up a blue key, so that is obviously something that they're going to have to do. Now in his case, Fonzie definitely spots the red key, and he's like, what are you telling me? I wonder how confused that was. Like, he's like saying it. He's like, definitely a red key there. So I guess the player's coming back through here. Now he's listening for sounds. This is definitely one of those switches where you have to listen for the sound. But the problem with this section right here is that when you see a blue a key door, you're more likely to think that that's the next area, and that usually kind of breaks the idea of what a secret is. Like, secrets don't usually take you into the next area. They're usually a chunk of the gameplay area that you're already in. So that particular secret actually might have to be switched over to something that's already in one of these existing areas. And I don't want the player to actually jump down on the side. So I'm going to have to figure out another place to put that secret. I don't think it belongs behind a blue door. I don't believe that it makes sense for me to place the secret in a future area that you're supposed to go to next. Although this scavenging does, yeah, he does kind of like, okay, figure that out, and he's like looking for more stuff, and yeah, he sees that, he saw the window there that told him that he can go out the window, and it did actually work out ultimately. But he does not pick stuff up unless he knows he has to. Very cautious. Too cautious, dude. You're too cautious. I'm not designing the map for people who can't who do that. Like, I'm, I'm never gonna be able to balance for people like you. Uh, oh, that lava. Lava just took a chunk of life away from him for no reason. Hmm. Alright, so he didn't even know about that other room. So like he's like, huh, okay, so that looks like he was able to kind of figure out, and now he's doing this out of order. So this sequence right here needs to be reworked, and I actually think that there's going to have to be something done for this section to make it a sequential series. In other words, you have to enter from the top to activate a switch, which then gives you access to the next area, or something along those lines. So this area right here is gonna have to be reworked. We cleared out that annoying imp that's usually at that part of the fight, like in the next section. Um, See, now he's like, oh, there it is. Like, he sees it. It didn't. Yeah. Oop, there it was. Like, he was looking for it. He knew it was there at that point. I don't know. I think that's just gonna have to be a different secret. Like, that's just gonna be a use wall for you to be able to find this. You just have to press use on the wall. The only thing I don't like about having a simple use wall kind of secret is that there's no nuance to it. Like, you just have to like mash every single wall. It's just not a good mindset for the player to have to be in order to accomplish like things like that. So he wasn't ready at all for this fight. Frankly, he died because you deserved to die. You weren't ready for the fight. You didn't approach it properly, I guess. I don't know. The art file is a pretty interesting challenge for this spot, and can be a really big hazard. And the lava just, oh, that was it. In this particular case, though, he was able to escape from the lava. It's just he just was not ready for that fight at all. I mean, he just think about how much worse that would have been had I left it without having to flip the switch. You just literally turn a corner and now you're fucking in hell. Um, there was actually a lot of really good stuff to glean from this video. The other video, not so much because it just looked like me playing through my own map. Um, I really appreciate Fonze that you gave me videos like this, and I think you did a fantastic job. I loved the first playtest, the first video where you died and everything like that. That showed me so much, and there's just so much value in that. I'm super appreciative that you took the time to make that video and give me so much feedback. This is now multiple videos. Uh, Thanks again, and stay tuned for more. I'm gonna go through more details, and the BZ Plasma video is is so fucking long, even when I break it down and like cut out different parts. So that one's going to be where you see me actually breaking down like level design changes and things of that nature. So with that said, everybody, stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry about the sound error at the end, or halfway through it. Stay tuned for more.
Back from the dead.